Now I'm heard. Now I'm seen. Alright. Why you do this? So, this is going to be another relaxing, chill and talk kind of situation. I'll be streaming Empyrean with Kodum in about 25 minutes. So I thought this would be a good time to do something such as this. Okay. King and Bobo specifically, because he has said numerous times that YouTube does not like to give him his notifications. Well, I pinged him, so I would assume he'd get that. Yes, so tonight we will be doing Empyrean. It's just going to be a good time. I'm kind of considering getting some ice for my wrist. It's getting better, by the way. Like, I can actually... Yeah, I can move it a lot better. I'm regaining feeling in the right side of my left hand now, which was something that I don't know. I pinched a nerve. I don't know if I pinched a nerve like here or if it was somewhere else in my hand. I'm not really sure. But yes, I'm recovering from that, and that's going to be very nice when it's no longer a problem. Let's open Task Manager because I like to see what my computer is forgetting how to compute properly. That's never a fun thing. We are running at a really solid FPS, which is fantastic. It's looking good. Tonight's stream should be going well. Yeah, and interestingly, I do have a pillow here for my my left arm when I'm playing games, because I've found that since I hurt my wrist, I can't play games like I used to. I need to have a pillow to. It's honestly a good idea anyway, because it's more ergonomic. My hand is now like this on the keys instead of like this and like reaching. It's like my hand's hanging over the keyboard, and I can easily hit the keys without much stress, which is very nice. I don't really need to worry about my mouse hand because my whole arm, like up until here, is already laying, which is nice. At some point, I might show you guys like what my setup is, but probably not while I'm here, since it's a literal mess of wires. It is an unbelievable mess of wires right now, because my gaming setup, where I game right here, is also where I work. So like I have 2 setups worth of wires right there, 3 power boxes and a dock, a Lenovo ThinkPad dock. It's quite insane. Also, I see 5 people online, but no chats being chatted. But I'm pretty sure it's YouTube just screwing with me, not showing me the chat, right? Oh no, okay, people are just not talking. I wanted to be sure, because for some reason YouTube doesn't like to show me chat when people are chatting, which is the whole purpose of chat, so I can see when you're chatting, but chat does not want to chat like that. But yeah, so I'm thinking once I move into my apartment, and I actually have a semi-permanent setup, I'll probably, well, so like I have this laptop. I don't know if I'm going to have, I don't know when I'm going to get a full desktop. Once I move out, that'll be like the next like big leisurely purchase, is a full-on desktop, which means I'm going to need a monitor. This is my work monitor, so I don't want to use it for play. I mean, separate from work. I'm not going to swap monitors back and forth. Hey, Bobo. Yes, you got the notification. Let me guess. It was the notification I gave you. Yes, okay. I don't know why you're not getting them. Did you hide the channel activity? You must have hid the channel activity text channel. I don't know why you wouldn't get notifications from that or YouTube. That unless you don't have notifications on, which, I can't help you there except, hit that bell. Take beginning Java I can't read. Taking beginning Java this semester along with Com 8, which is small groups on top of taking computer concepts. Well, okay. Looks like you made a decision for I thought I remember you thinking you weren't sure what you wanted to do yet. But it's awesome to hear that you're taking that route. If anyone ever wants to just have like a computer discussion, not like building a computer, but like a conceptual, in-depth discussion about like computer science. I love talking about that stuff. There's like no one in my life that I can talk about with this stuff because they don't care. If I explain to you the concept of deadlock and how it is very fascinating, as well as many other things that I can't even think of, it's really weird. Since I graduated college, I can't just think of a concept to talk about. But if you say something, it will likely spark something. I've had people like say something about computers, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this whole class I had on this one topic, and then I actually have like little internal like discussions with myself, which are kind of almost mainly just me remembering stuff from college, just like, oh yeah, I remember I learned that, and that's right, that's the way that worked, that's how that worked, that's what that does. It's really cool, you know. I mean, honestly, yeah. Like seriously, technology is fascinating. There's a reason why I went into computer science. Like computers are fascinating when I'm not screaming at them for lagging. You know, there's a madness to that lagging, and it's fascinating. You know, like I could have taken software engineering as a major, which is more on the software engineering process. But I hit F5 on accident. Um, I could have taken software engineering for the programming. I'm not in this field for programming. I'm in it for what programming means, what it does, and how it works. And that's why I chose computer science over software engineering. Aside from the fact that I would have needed to have taken up to physics 2, chemistry 2, and calc 3, and differential equations just for software engineering. Despite the fact software engineering and computer science are almost the same exact thing. So, don't know why it's like that. Well, my university was. In fact, I'm not even afraid to say it. University of Wisconsin-Platteville is where I went to school. I'm not afraid to say that because I'm not there anymore, and I will never be back there. At least I don't know why I would be back there. I graduated. Um, so, yeah, like Platteville was known for its engineering. So I guess the fact that it was called software engineering, for some reason, you needed to take all the like mechanical engineering, like engineering physics. You needed to take those kinds of classes, which makes no sense because it's programming. I mean, knowing physics when programming is important. Don't get me wrong, it is. Like, especially discrete mathematics, which was a very fascinating class. It was the class where I had to do mathematical proofs on basic things, and it honestly didn't take me long to think like, how is this applicable to my programming? Well, it's because if you know the math and the madness of numbers, it makes programming significantly easier to understand and solve problems. Did you get your BA or did you grab master's? I don't have a master's yet. I didn't like how Tyler graduated and went right into his master's. I wanted to wait and get some programming experience. I was advised that by so many people. Plus, I wanted to work. You know, I want to make money. You know, like going through undergrad, I actually didn't pay for much of school because my grandfather started a college fund for me when I was born. So I had basically all my housing paid by the time I got to college. And then because my dad was in the military, we had our state GI Bill, the Wisconsin GI Bill, paid for my tuition. So I really lucked out in that regard. But I don't have that anymore. It's been consumed. So if I go through my master's, I'm paying for that. So if I do that, I want to accumulate some money to pay for that. Assuming my job doesn't help, which it probably will. But yeah, I will probably get a master's, quite simply because I love computer science. You know, there's so much to it, and I would like to know more about it. So I will probably do that in the future. But you chose a really cool field, Jordan, to get into. It's very fascinating. It's very frustrating, especially if you're new to programming. Computer science is very challenging, but as someone who didn't really know much programming going into it, I can confidently, like, I knew almost nothing. I was already going under engineering. I was originally going to be mechanical engineering, which was the major Tyler was. Like, Tyler and I were the same major going into school. But then of course I went to computer science. I knew like engineering stuff. I knew how to use like AutoCAD. I knew math pretty well. I say that like I don't anymore. I do, yeah. So I knew like nothing about actually programming when I went into it, but yet, you know, it's really awesome to have gone through it. It was very difficult, but it was so much fun. You know, like I didn't love it at the time, but looking back at school, I miss it, man. College was fun. Like, not just for, like, having the freedom and having different experiences of living on my own. Um, like, college was just so much fun with, like, the learning. Like, studying and taking exams was so stressful and it was so annoying, but, I miss it, kinda, honestly. A little JavaScripting. He was a computer science, Your mom was a computer science teacher. Holy crap. JavaScripting? Do you mean JavaScript? your mom taught you know JavaScript? Okay. I mean, I've never heard it referred to as JavaScripting. I mean, okay. Yeah, that is cool that you have your mom to help you out with that. I had no one. I went into programming completely alone, and like even among like my family, um, not no experience in this field. Um, my step grandfather's son, my step uncle, I guess you could call it, um, he's been in technology fields like computer science related, but I never really talked to him. Well, we talked a little bit, but he didn't really tell me much about the career. So I basically went into it blind. Or not blind. Well, I went into it blind, but I also went into it pretty solo. So it's always good to have people with you to help you out. I would have loved to have had friends that knew about this kind of stuff that I could have referred to and like gotten just even basic concepts from, I've not delivered on the foot cam. I did not promise that. You are just weird. Nice to well know that once I finish BA, I could go for a good amount of jobs. So that's the thing. The jobs are so plentiful. I can't I had my current job lined up since I had I interned last summer with the company that I'm currently working with. And so like I've always had a job lined up, but I've gotten constant messages over LinkedIn from recruiters. And the thing is, like, this is the age for computer science and software engineering because everything's digital. You don't need to move to Boston because I've actually gotten job offers from Boston. What was it, Boston? Yeah, it was Boston. I had one from Texas. I had one from Massachusetts. It's also in Boston, or Boston's in Massachusetts. Isn't it? Yeah, it is. For jobs, and I have to keep denying them, and I actually felt kind of bad because it's like these are some cool opportunities, but I already got a really nice job lined up here, which my job's fantastic. I love it. And little did you guys might not know this, but Kodum, the person I'm going to be playing Empyrean with in about 15 minutes, he's a coworker, and he's actually the senior software engineer on the team who's been doing this for like 25 years. So it's fantastic to be able to play games with someone who's also so knowledgeable about programming and whatnot. It's awesome. That's the thing. Like most people who get into this field kind of are similar. Like we like similar things, like gaming. So you really meet a lot of really cool people in this field. Everything's done over Zoom. Yeah, it's nice. I could drive to where I work. It's literally like 20 minutes away, but not driving anywhere saves me a ton of gas and time. I can wake up 10 minutes before I start working. I don't do that because that's terrible. I'd be groggy at work. But I could. Like it's really convenient, Very convenient. Honestly, it feels just like the end of college. My whole last semester and a half of school, half of last spring, and then the entirety of the last semester, which was this previous fall. Man, I can't believe it's almost been a year already since I've been out of college. It was no different. It was fantastic. The world right now is crappy, yes, but it suits the field I'm in so well. Aside from technical issues, which happens anyway. Yeah, I work completely remote. I could work in office if I wanted to. In fact, they just reopened the big building that I would have been working in had COVID not happened. So technically, I could work every day in office, which I've considered doing for one reason, and that's especially considering as how I work or I game, like focusing, it's not really a problem. I do a pretty good, because when I was in college, I the desk that I had my laptop at where I gamed was also where I had my laptop, the same laptop for my homework. But like I'm pretty good at like keeping my proper mindset when I'm working. But when it's not the same as actually working in a working environment. Although it also would have been cool to work with my coworkers. Like I to this day I have not actually worked a full day with a coworker in my field, counting my internship. Not a single day, which honestly just sucks. I wanted to do that. That was exciting. Like, and it's awesome because the place I toured it during my internship interviews, where I would have been working. Like, how there's like those, not really memes, but like those what, not cliches, I can't think of the word, but basically like everyone sees like a really high tech office as like just an open concept, everyone's walking around with laptops and all that. This place I would have been working at was exactly like that. I was excited. It looked so cool to work in, so relaxing, so open, so modern. It was exciting, and I just never got that. Why did people pick a random app for important stuff like court cases, interviews, and more? I mean, I wouldn't say it was random. These when COVID hit, there were a ton of developers that went out to make software specifically for this because the market was huge. So they definitely tried their best to make it secure and tailor it towards such meetings. Everything was done over Zoom. I just had to roll out a bad to your computer and bam, you're ready for class. Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah, exactly. That's what I did. You just played games and waited for the next class. I can't tell you how many videos I recorded in between classes and during classes that were canceled. In fact, my Promised Lands playthrough, I remember I actually, my Zelda Classic Promised Lands playthrough, most of that was recorded between classes. Like, I would end one class, turn off Zoom, we use Zoom, just close Zoom, open Zelda Classic, open OBS, turn on my mic, record an hour's worth of videos for my next class, and turn that all off and get Zoom back up. It was fantastic. I didn't like all the garbage software that I had to install. That was kind of annoying. But I went through the entire thing and cleaned it all out. Jeez. Hard to focus in class. Was it like one of those hip places? Honestly, it was. No joke. No joke. It was there wasn't like the beanbag chairs or anything like that. But it was awesome. Like it was well lit. It was wide open, no cubicles. I mean the cubicles were like 3 feet high, so well no, they were like 4 feet high. But it was a nice looking office. I wanted to work there. Treat their workers really, really well. Yeah, in fact, so the center that I would have worked in, they had, man, where do I even start? It was a massive building. Like, I'm trying to like throw out a number, maybe like 500 feet one way and like 200 feet the other way rectangle building. It was massive. All kinds of small office rooms that are lofted over the floor, you could call, where all the small cubicles were that people worked in. And each of those had a computer monitor that was essentially a projector that was touchscreen, so you could do like WebEx calls over this huge monitor, and you could even remote into those, which was amazing. I did work one day in the office with only my manager, and I sat through a meeting at one of those offices. It was crazy, man. It's just a massive touchscreen computer, like not just a projector. It was a computer. There was no projector. It was a computer, and it was awesome. And there was even a cafeteria available, not 24/7, but like throughout the whole day in the center of that working building. So I could just walk like 30 seconds from my cubicle to the at like noon. I could just walk 30 seconds over to the cafeteria, just get some food for free, and sit down because there was also tables there, and then just eat, and then head right back to work like 50 feet away. It would have been awesome. My only my only experience in that building where I got to see what it was like was during my internship interview. So I was too busy being stressful over this interview to really take in what's going on. But it was such a cool atmosphere. Like, I walked in, and not to mention the way I dressed with Zelda shirts, I could dress like that at work. They had no dress policy. They said, they essentially were saying like we don't care how you dress so long as it's, obviously appropriate. Um, you could just wear what you wanted. I didn't need to get specially dressed up. It was fantastic. Like how I'm dressed right now in shorts and a Zelda shirt. I could go into work like this, and there would be other people like that in my meetings. Like now, at work, like there's people wearing Lord of the Rings shirts. It's it's awesome. Ah, yes. They give them free coffee. Food is always there, and even had massages ready if people wanted them. I mean, that's pretty close to what we had. And I mean, this is just the center in the Midwest. There's also the bigger center in California, which is apparently even better, which is crazy. But anyway, this was a very quick discussion. Once again, if you guys want more of these kinds of streams, like this could be like a pre-stream kind of thing. Like before we do streams, I could do something like this. I'm fine with that. I'm perfectly fine with that. But anyway, so Kodam and I are going to start playing Empyrean in about 5 minutes. So if you are interested in that, stay right where you are. I'm like the last one of these discussion streams. I'm just going to kill the stream, change the stream key, and then spin up the stream once again, and we'll start playing Empyrean. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. This has been cool. Oh, he went live. Okay, well, I better hurry up then. I will see you guys in that stream.